This past weekend, we welcomed Sherry Waddell, the foundress and director of the Catherine of Siena Institute. She came for a mini mission. Our parish was blessed with a really great turnout. But as she was speaking, I was thinking about the gospel. And that was about the tax collectors and the prostitutes being invited to come and labor in the vineyard. And I was thinking to myself, I'd like to take a toll. How many of you are tax collectors and prostitutes and are now working for the Lord? You and I, we know our own ways of using things and using people. We know our past sins and our greediness, so to speak. But she emphasized the need for using our charisms to go out into the world, to know where you are in your spiritual journey, and to invite Christ to be part of the mission that of building up the kingdom of God within a parish, within a diocese, within each of our lives. You and I, as we think back on our lives and the things that God has invited us to do, have you ever noticed that He calls us in the midst of some of the struggles and the selfishness? He calls us in the midst of our pain. And a challenge, I think, for some of us, and maybe more than some of us, is to leave the past behind, to start over, to begin to live in a manner in which you are free, and to live in a manner in which you really build up the kingdom. Not long ago, I was given a retreat, and I used an analogy that might help some of you. I talked about the experience when I was in the seminary when I broke my arm. That was back when they used to put those plaster Paris casts on your arm. And after I had my cast cut off, I kept the cast for some foolish reason, maybe for the potential for a reliquary one day. And what was so comical is I kept it, and months later I found it. I put it in the bottom drawer. But I'd like to draw an analogy. Imagine if I took that cast out, months later, my wrist was back to normal. And I said to myself, I'm going to put that cast back on. And I try as best as I can to get that cast on, but it doesn't fit. But I'm doing everything I can to make what was once broken, to make it appear that that cast fits, but it doesn't fit. That cast of healing worked at that time with that body image, and it was needed for that specific time. Christ in our life, He comes in and He heals us. But there are people that want to go back and refix what has already been healed. My arm was broken, but it's no longer broken. And I don't need to carry around a cast to tell people my arm was broken. What shows them that it's broken is the fact that my hand and my wrist are working for the glory of God. Sometimes when people want to work on the church and they've been the tax collectors and sinners, all they can think about is their past. And you know, there's a lot of other new tax collectors and sinners that maybe need our witness, but then just a witness, a simple invitation. I know where you've been. I understand your pain, but I want to invite you to where I feel the Lord is calling me. I'd like to invite you to journey with me, to be an intentional disciple, a person with a mission who goes forth remembering their past, living in the present, and building for the kingdom. As we celebrate this week and you go forth, remember, all of us are called to be disciples of the Lord. And this is more than a sermon. It's more than a thought. This is the reality of our mission in Jesus Christ. God bless you.